Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. Baby, let me tell y'all, I don't even know who listening. I think this is more for myself than it is for anybody. Yesterday, this is March the 4th, 2025. Yesterday, my dad got riled up again. He wanted to go over to his house, and so my husband called me and let me know, hey, he's starting up again about going over to the house. I said, my concern was he being violent? Was he being combative in any way, form, fashion? He said no. He said, but I'm just not up to it today. He said, I'm just not up to him doing all that today. So he called me and I talked to him over the phone. And I said, Dad, I let him know there is nothing else to be said about going back to Homewood to live. That's it. That's it. And then he wanted to see this woman that he's very good friends with. She's a sweet woman. She has loved him all this time and taken care of him. But he felt like he could get back with my mama. So he put this woman kind of on the shelf, allowing her to do everything that she does for him. But in the meantime, he was trying to gain my mom's affections back. But what he didn't realize is he had did so much damage the first time. I'm 59 years old. He had done so much damage the first time. I mean, this is her story. Who knows, what the truth lies. But this is my mom's story. She said that he had gotten involved with this woman named Jane, which I know that this woman named Jane does exist, because he tried to get me to get in touch with her when I went off to school, right? This woman has, her family has a lot of money and all these different things, and it was in his mind when he came back from Vietnam, it made sense for him to get involved with Jane and have Jane take care of him, me, and my mother. So this is where his head was. I don't see how that makes sense for anybody, and how he thought that my mom was gonna be okay with it. So from what I understand, Jane was just so taken with him that she would sit at his feet like he was a king. So Mom went on by her business, and she should have. And so I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how to explain that whole situation, because she still, even though she went about her business that time, she didn't make good decisions when it came to getting involved with men. But anyway, so when we got to be cool again, and he started coming around, and he was around my mother, he got infatuated with her all over again. And Mom, in the meantime, whatever it was that he offered her, she took. It was like payback, Oh, since you did me dirty, yeah, I'm gonna take everything that you offer me. Yeah, I'm not gonna. She even would ask him for stuff, and he would give it to her, And so in the meantime, Amel is loving him, wanting to do things with him, go places with him, and everything. And she's an Egyptian woman, so I don't know how. They have certain standards and stuff. But anyway, so that was one of the situations that he said to me when I male. I said, what do you want to see a male for? No, he said, I want to talk to a male. I said, what do you want to talk to a male about? He said, I want to talk to her about me and her. I said, you can't marry that woman. I said, you should have married her 10 years ago when you had the chance. I said, now that your mind is bad, now you want. I said, you're acting like you can do things that you can't do. No court is going to allow her to marry you. If anything, she would get in trouble because she would be deemed taking a advantage of somebody that don't know what's going on, right? And so he was just, we were talking. I said, you know what? I said, come on, let's go. Because we were supposed to go Saturday, but we were ripping and running so much. I was tired. So after we were ripping and running so much Saturday, I went on to the house. And so we went over there today. Not today, yesterday about 5 o'clock. We had a come to Jesus meeting. We did not leave from over there till after 8 o'clock. Everything that was said, that needed to be said, was said. She told him, she said, Junior, I'm not going to be able to marry you. She said, I told your mother, she telling me, I told your mother that she was the best woman. I said, no, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. I said, because my mom did not love my daddy. She loved him, but she was not in love with him. And a whole lot of stuff that was going on with her. Let me tell you how I was so mad this day. This day was just crazy. We had just left church. At one point, she used to bring him to church and everything. They were friends. I'll say that. They were friends. And at one point, she had brought him to church. She was bringing him to church. She brought him to church this particular Sunday. She said, after church, we going down the road. That's what she would say about going to the casino. I said, oh, yeah? Y'all going? She said, y'all want to go? She was talking to me and my daughter. I said, sure, we'll ride. We'll ride. Because we love to eat that food that's at the casinos, I don't care nothing about playing them games and stuff, because I play games on my little iPad, because they're fun, and that's how they get you hooked down there at them casinos. You forget you playing for money. So after church, we got in her car, and I'm trying to remember, did we change clothes? I think we were all casual already or something like that. But anyway, we got in the car going down to Wetumpka. So my dad was driving. At this time, he had his full faculties and everything, as far as I know. We didn't see any signs of dementia or any type of dementia, Alzheimer's or anything like that. So he got in the car driving. Then we got as far as Alabaster, and he was like, ooh, he kept wincing in pain. And then all of a sudden he started to swerve. I said, pull over. I don't know what's going on. I said, what's going on with you? He said, I don't know. I said, you want me to drive? He said, yeah. And so he turned over the wheel to me. He got in the back with Daisy. So I'm driving, and next thing you know, he's wincing again. He's screaming out in pain. I'm like, what is going on? And so we looked for a hospital. I think it was in Calera. I can't remember where that hospital was, but we found a hospital very close. Took him to the hospital. We sitting in the waiting room, and my mom said, Rachel, you need to go back there with him. I said, yeah. And so I go back there in the waiting room with him, And they're doing all kind of different tests and everything. Come to find out, he got a UTI. He got a UTI. You know, if anybody has ever had one of those things are horrible. They are so painful. And so they did whatever it is that they do. Plus, they gave him a bunch of fluids because it seemed like he was dehydrated. So after all of that, I think we were down there about 2-3 hours at the hospital. And after all of that, and my mom says, okay, let's go. And I said, okay. She said, we can go on to the casino. I said to my mom, I said, hell no, we're not going to no casino. And she looked at me. I said, he's sick. We going home. And my dad looked at me, and she looked at me, and my daughter looked at me. I said, everybody get in the car. We going home. So that tells you how bad off she was with this gambling situation. She didn't care that he had just spent 3 hours in the hospital. She's still finna make him go down to the casino where he'll probably be down there sick, bent over, if we hadn't gone with them. If I and my daughter hadn't gone with them, that probably would have been the situation. She was so into gambling. She had such a gambling problem that she didn't even consider his health. He had prescriptions and everything. You gonna have him sitting up there, a grown man who just was screaming out in pain. You gonna have him sitting up in a casino because you want to go. So that show you what kind of relationship they had. I don't know if he was willing to go or not. I didn't ask him. I ain't asked nobody. Like I said, I went off. And we went home. So, but he was so in love with her. And the idea of them getting back together, he wanted to move in with her to her apartment, wanted her to help take care of his finances. I give her the credit of the fact that she said to him, no, I don't need to be over your money. If nothing else, you need your daughter to be over your money. He don't trust me, I guess, because he didn't want me to be over his money at all. So I'm okay with that. I mean, because I don't like, honestly, being involved with other folks' money, because they can accuse you of some everything. So he had this, like I said, this opportunity to be with this woman. He passed it by because he thought he could do better, because he thought he could be with mama or whatever. And now he is 78 years old, talking about he want to marry her. He down in his body. He's down in his mind. Everything is wrong. And I saw a meme about situations like that. It's like men wait till everything is wrong with them and they about to leave this world, and then they be like, hey, will you marry me? Will you marry me? Child, get up. Go somewhere. Go somewhere. You could have helped her and she could have helped you. It could have been a partnership. But now that you need help, you want somebody to sacrifice. And she not doing that well herself. She down in her back. She a little bitty lady. If she weigh 110 pounds, that's probably all she weighs. And she not even 5 feet tall, I don't believe. So you want to sacrifice her last good years for you? And you had opportunity. Y'all done known each other at least 15, 20 years. Why you didn't ask her to marry you back then? Okay, that's just part of what went on yesterday. Her son tells me that, because I showed him, you know, the bite and everything, I have to dress this thing 5 times a day with some kind of cream. 5 times a day, because it's blood and pus. And the reason it's blood and pus, because I got bit by something, and Michael said yes, the house at one point was infested with brown recluse, Rachel. So it's probably a brown recluse that bit you. I could have been, Lord, when he told me that, I'm like, what? He said, when did it bite you? And I told him, I said, I was so upset Tuesday. I have no idea that I was even bit by anything. I felt nothing. He said, Rachel, that's a painful bite. I said, like I said, I was so upset. I got a low threshold for pain. So I got bit by a deadly spider and didn't even feel it. All I noticed was when I got home, I was like, how I got a pimple on my arm? Tried to bust the pimple. It was hard. Wasn't a pimple. By Sunday, it was over. I was weak. I was so weak and just tired. I'm still coughing, taking cough medicine, taking antibiotics. I can't take the antibiotic during the day because it makes me sleepy. And we need to watch every move that he makes. Every move that he makes. So this morning before I left, I told him, bye and be good. We had a come to Jesus meeting. I told him, you know what? You have a option. You don't have to stay with us. I said, so do you want to stay with us? He said, no. I said, that's fine. Didn't argue with him. I said, but you're not going back to Homewood in that house. I said, what you can do is you can go to a home. I said, that's your option. You either with us or you're in a home. You're not going back to that house. The house is not livable. From what I understand, he had the option. My dad has a habit of running away when things get tough. He doesn't face anything head on. He doesn't face anything. I get my tenacity, if you can call it that, from the women in my family. The men in my family, they talk big. Now my brother about that life. I must say, my brother Benny, he about that life. But from the men in my family, on my dad's side, the only one that was about that life was my uncle Moses. He was a gangster, educated gangster, master's degree, had 2 master's degrees. He got bodies on him, from what I'm told. Never been to the military, but from what I'm told, he lived that life, and somehow he ended up having a tragic death. We still don't know what happened about that. But anyway, most of the time, my granddaddy and my dad, they talk that noise. Don't bust a grape. Can't bust a grape. All they are is talk. So, you know, unless they got a gun. So, found out, you know, Abel thought that he would be her protector. I said he ain't never protected nobody. What you talking about? What are you talking about? She said when she had to go to court about a situation with her daughter, he got up and left. I said, well, from what I was told, he said that he and Mitch were the only ones that looked like them. So he was like telling her, look, I'm finna go. This not gonna end well. And which it didn't. It didn't end well. Her daughter got life. Her daughter got life. And said, you know, that the prosecutors and everything, it's one of them towns in Georgia, honey. And don't nobody look like a male. And I believe once they found out that she wasn't white because she looked white, I think that was it. It was a whole setup. It was a whole setup. So, anyway, so we talked about a little of everything. You know, Michael talked about how, you know, he will put on and stuff. I said, oh, I'm not about them games. I said, now, Dad, no, I'm not about them games. He said, oh, yeah, he'll put on. He said, he'll act like, you know, something is really wrong with him, and there's not really nothing wrong with him. He's just trying to get his way. I said, I don't play them games with children. Not gonna play them games with him. Nope, 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 nope. And yeah, Amel said, yeah, he was doing something one day, and she's like, why are you doing that? And he said, because I'm trying to push your button. You trying to push my buttons? We going to the top floor. You try to push my buttons? We going to the top floor. Especially if I know that's what you're trying to do. So, I have this 78-year-old brat. He ain't just been a brat. He's always wanted to get his way and do his own thing. Some of what he's been through, I can understand. But you don't get to get your way in at the expense of others. I don't care who you are. And we're going to take care of him, and I'm going to love him. I don't care what. I'm going to love him. But he ain't not. I don't play them games. Dacia know that. That's my daughter. As a child, she knew that. She knew. Mama don't play. As much as mama love you, mama ain't playing them games. So, anyway, y'all, I hit a curbstone talking to y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Give God glory in everything that you do, in his way and in his word. Love you. Bye-bye.